Thank you. Thank you each for being here. Now we'll stop, and this is a kind of a crazy day, so I think people are going to be coming in and out, but you will be on a non-fraudulent video record. So we'll make sure that you'll have, despite the lack of senators sitting right at the table, we'll make sure many of them see this. I know there is tremendous interest. Mr. Brooker, why don't I start with you? We've seen AI technology evolve so rapidly the last few years. I think we have to anticipate that that trend is going to continue and probably accelerate. In previous hearings, we've highlighted how comprehensive privacy legislation is an essential building block to addressing some of the harms presented by AI, those that are anticipated and those that have already happened. As AI continues to evolve, how would you see data privacy protections helping to mitigate fraud against consumers?
Yeah, so a lot of these scams are social engineering attacks, really, and those are a lot more effective when they have data about you. In the current environment, there's a lot of data out there available about us. There's like hundreds of data brokers. California has a data broker registry. I think there are like 600 different companies on it. And you can get the sort of things that are valuable for this sort of attack. You can find out family members. You can go to dozens of data brokers and find out who family members are. You can get location. Sometimes you can get precise geolocation. You can find out about interest or what people have done. And so, these little facts, these little factoids are things that they can say, oh, you were at the Braves game 3 weeks ago. You were the 1 millionth fan for the year, and you won a big prize. And we're gonna why are you the money? Give us your routing number. So all these sort of things can be used by hackers. And I think, as y'all talked about, now they can do it at scale. AI can just kind of automate it all for you. Automate the script. Automate the email. Automate whatever the attack is. And like you say, who knows what they're going to be. Strong legislation, privacy legislation can help kind of rein that in. Like I said, about 20 states now have passed legislation, Colorado being one of the first. Those are great advances, but it still puts a lot of onus on users. Users have to kind of go out of their way to track down these 600 data brokers and opt out. That's hard to do. Even the opt-in solutions are hard. You need permission, and that's very difficult. So something that protects by default, so you don't have to put all the onus on people to track down their data, is something that we would recommend.
Right, I agree completely. And I think it's been frustrating to almost everyone. This is normally a large committee, but frustrating that the data privacy continues to be elusive. It's hard to imagine. Dr. Fareed, you discussed different tools and techniques available for detecting AI-generated media, including, humans manually labeling content and automated detection tools. How effective are the different kinds of tools and techniques to detect deepfakes and, all these things from voices to video? How well are they working?
Yeah. So the first thing to understand is, as a consumer, your ability to distinguish reality from AI is becoming increasingly more difficult. I do this for a living, and I'm pretty good at it, and it's getting really hard. So putting that onus on the consumer is, look for the hands, look for this, look for that. That is a false sense of security that will simply not be true tomorrow, let alone 3 months from now. In terms of automation of tools, there's two basic approaches to automation, what we call proactive and reactive. Proactive, you've already heard of it from Munir and Trupek. This is, you are at the point of creation, whether it's an AI-generated voice, an AI-generated image, or an image that I took with one of these devices in my hand. You can cryptographically sign the source of that so you know provenance. That today is the only tool that works, and this is the important part, at scale. Your question needs a little bit of additional thing, which is, at what scale do you want to operate? And if you want to operate at the scale of the internet with billions of uploads a day, this today is the only technology that works at that scale. The reactive techniques say, well, we have a bad actor who's not using credentials, or the credentials have not been deployed widely, so we wait. We wait to get the phone call. We wait for the image to show up on social media, and we respond to that. And there, the answer of efficacy is, it depends. If you give us enough time, we'll figure it out. We're pretty good at this. But the half-life of a social media post is measured in about 30 to 60 seconds. So it's not like you have a lot of time once it gets onto the social media platforms for you to respond. So my view of these things is we need the proactive solutions. We need the reactive solutions to clean up the mess that's left behind. And for consumers, I think it's not so much about educating them on how to detect this, but it's educating them on good digital hygiene, on how to be careful and how to protect themselves.
Great, I agree completely. Ms. Mani, again, thank you for sharing your family story. I know that's not an easy thing, and thanks to you for all your advocacy to address some of the harms that are being perpetrated through AI technology. From your perspective, why is it so important to consider the perspectives of the people impacted by technology when we're looking at policy responses that address some of the harms to individuals?
I feel we have to deal with perspectives, many times misinformation. So education equals prevention. I feel it's should be at forefront in any type of platform. So regulations in school, legislations in the government, as well as conversations with our students, children. I think it's equally important to send a message to our girls that they are worthy and they should demand certain respect, but at the same time we need to hold the bad actors accountable and educate them as well. We all know that the biggest protection is just the fear from going to jail. So, I mean, at this point, FBI released this year statements saying that deepfakes are, sexually explicit deepfakes are illegal. And it's just surprising that our educational department didn't follow with any regulations. We all know what has happened right now in Pennsylvania to 46 girls, and it's really not a unique situation. It has been happening, and it will be happening, unless we're gonna start educating our youth, because they are our future.
Absolutely. I have to go vote, so I'm gonna excuse myself, turn it over to Senator Lujan from New Mexico, but I will be back. I have more questions.